What's up, everyone? Dark Scream 217 here. With me is Windsor321.
Yo,
And it's that time of the season again where we take a look at the upcoming anime that's currently broadcasting or soon to be broadcasting in this season. And it's winter 2014/2015. We're just going to get this one done as quick as possible because I haven't seen anything that caught my eye this season. I don't know if we're going to do, I don't even know if I'm going to do a follow up watching the shows this season. So that being said, we'll have a link in the description below. You can follow along with us, read along, and then you can get your own thoughts as well. With that being said, I'm actually going to start this time to keep the pace fast. Nothing that interesting there. It's just another continuation of a show I haven't seen, nor do I have any interest in seeing. And that is Tente Opera Milky Holmes TD. Sorry if I sound a little weird. A big hit, a huge cold front came in a couple days ago. I think I'm starting to take effect of it. Might be getting a cold soon. Anyways, Tante Opera Milky Holmes TD, sequel to Milky Holmes, and it's probably already broadcasting because it says episode 1 and 2 will air on December 31st. In the future world, people use toys to grant them superhuman abilities like ESP and telekinesis. This has led to a boom in both minor crimes and the need for toy using detectives to track down the offenders and bring them to justice. Opera Kobayashi runs the detective agency Milky Holmes, started by four cheerful, energetic girls. You can see why I'm not really giving a shit about this show at all.
we have read this synopsis at least 5 times altogether.
We have. Well, I have. Multifire probably read it once or twice, and you read it once or twice. Alright, well, that's all I gotta say. Moving on, your turn.
Absolute duo. The story begins with Blaze, a weapon that is the manifestation of a human soul. Toru Kokone happens to be qualified for this, but for some reason his blaze is not a weapon, but a shield. Moreover, he enrolled in a school that teaches combat skills, and thanks to the school's duo partner system, he ends up living with a beautiful silver haired girl named Yuri Singutsu, a reference to the Swedish town Suguda, study abroad student from Gimli, location in Norse mythology within the Nordic countries. So, I guess this takes place in like Sweden or something like that.
I don't know, nothing about it caught my attention. It just sounds like another run of the mill fantasy show with a partner system. Oh, what now? Alright, excuse me a second. Um, Sorry, I'm still adjusting myself. I'm trying to get comfortable here, but at the same time, projecting my voice towards the mic.
Uh, I might be wrong about this show, but I know there is a show similar to this. I think he's like the only guy that's able to use this power. So, in a way, it's like Infinite Stratos. How he goes to a school and it's mostly girls, and it's like the plot point you've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, I know, but that's been done like several times before in other shit. I know Dual Parallel Trouble Adventure had a plot point where the mechs can only be piloted by women, but the main character who is a male was able to do the same thing. So, really, again, nothing sticks out to me. I'm ready to move on. Next show, Mina Atamari Falcom Gekuen SC, sequel to what I just said. The story begins when the world is invaded by game developer Nihon Falcom's RPG characters, including characters from E, Sorceria, Ayu Densetsu Shikunsora no Kisake, also known as Legend of the Heroes Trails in the Sky. The characters come together in a crazy academy life in celebration of the game maker's 30th anniversary. Wow, this would be really interesting if I actually played any of those games that was referenced there. Now, I heard Ys is a very popular RPG, but that's all I fucking know. I never really gave it a chance. I never really cared for it. Okay, done. Not interested in this show, and if I was, I have to watch the first season.
Dowell D. The story centers around Daijiro Koyugoku, the 15th generation owner of the Kyoto sweet shop Amashodu, whatever. One day, Dairo discovers a giant robot named Alma D in his store's basement. At the same time, enemies called Mikaiju, a combination of the words mecha and kaiju or monster, appear in Kyoto and begin wreaking havoc. I mean, it seems like this robot uses some sort of sweet making attacks because this is based around a sweet shop store.
Alright. Looks like an old school show or something that was based off of an old school manga. Um, I could have figured out Mech Kaiju was a combination of Mecha and Kaiju by myself.
Well, they have to spell it out for Americans.
Okay, next show. Now, you said you've already seen this or whatever. Your Kumarashi, the intellectual fantasy, follows Kureha, a transparent high school girl whose plan is barely noticed by others. Seemingly every night, she has a dream about bear and transparent storm. In this dream, her mysterious classmate, Ginkgo, usually appears in the form of a bear.
Okay.
Dude, just give your opinion. Don't summarize it because I'm sorry, but you take like 30 minutes doing so.
If by intellectual fantasy you mean trying to copy Shaft, yeah, let's go with that. I mean, the show's basically trying to be Shaft minus all the head tilts, which makes it completely unshafty. The bears disguise themselves as humans and go around eating other humans, when eating is metaphor for eating the bound. Most of the time being young girls. The show is basically about lesbians.
All right, you're next. Kamisama Hajime Shita. There, I just saved you 20 minutes of botching a sentence.
Sequel to the whatever he just said. The story follows a girl named Nanami who finds herself homeless after her father leaves. She comes to the home of a boy who offers to let her stay over, only to discover it's a Shinto shrine. The boy happens to be a deity.
Uh, it's yeah, it's a second season to a show I never seen. And again, nothing about it says, "Well, I'm going to watch this." Either the descriptions aren't hooking me in, or they really just that dime a dozen because it sounds like a premise I've seen before and before. It almost sounds like a reverse I'm a goddess to me.
Not to mention the main characters look like they're from a shoujo. I mean, they have the same faces and everything.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like every other shoujo manga I've seen or every shoujo anime I've looked at in the past for the past few years. Main heroine gets like big eyes, and male love interest has those narrow, slanted, wide eyes.
And the guy's smirk he has on his face.
That fucking asshole smirk. Yeah, that too. Anyways, moving on because this next one is just from looking at the thumbnail. This one's fucking bizarre. Binan Koko Chiku Boibu Love. Wow. By Dio Maeda. Never heard that company. In the story, the high school Earth Defense Club is basically the do nothing club. Oh, it sounds engaging already. Club members N and Natsushi are soaking in the bathtub at a public bath when suddenly a mysterious pink creature, Wombat, appears out thin air and asks, I want to save the star. Please, would you lend me your power? Then Yumoto, whose family runs the bathhouse, appears and chases Wombat to give him a hug. At the school next day, the remaining two members, Io and Ryu, also meet Wombat. Wombat gives all five of them bracelets and tells them to protect Earth. Dazzling light comes from the bracelets and envelops their bodies. This looks pretty yaoi-tastic.
Yeah, it's magical boys basically. They asked if girls wanted a version of Sailor Moon that they could enjoy. This is basically what come up with. It's totally yaoi-tastic.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, next show, and I actually do have like one thing to say after you finish reading the description.
I'm going to say this title with the best English I can possibly do. Miritari.
Oh, I see what it did there.
The story takes place during a conflict between the Krakozicha dukedom and the Grania Republic. In the midst of the fighting, a savior appears to the Krakozia Dukum, and it's a high school student named Sohei. Two female soldiers, First Lieutenant Ruto and Second Lieutenant Haruka, appear in tanks to intrude on Sohei's everyday life, followed by the enemy soldier Sachifuru and all whom use firearms without hesitation at his house.
Okay, you can't really tell me that this is. You can't really describe this show as a military action, possibly comedy, and then you have this artwork in front of my fucking face, and everyone looks like a goddamn toddler.
I believe this is also a short.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, it's like Kill Me Baby all over again. Like really, you never once comment on that description. Good. No, just no. I can't. I can't. I can't. Moving on. Kantai Collection, also known as Kankale. Humanity has lost control of the seas. The threat that has taken over the seas is the deep sea fleet. The only ones who can counter this are Kan Musume, also known as warship girls, girls who possess the spirit of naval vessels. The base for the fleet arrayed against the deep sea fleet is Chinjufu. There, many various Kan Musume have gathered to live together and worked hard every day in training and other matters. One day, a Kan Musume arrives at Shinjufu. She is a special class of destroyer. Her name is Fubuki. Fubuki's story, as well as Kan Musume's story, begins now. Now I've heard about Kankile. I can't remember. Yeah, it's based off of a game. I've heard of this before. I was I was browsing through Senkaku Complex today, and one of the articles about this show is best anime of the season. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Kankale does have a huge fan base, and thus the anime adaptation will get a lot of support. While I watch this, see, maybe.
The show is basically girls who are also battleships, so in that regard, it's basically strike witches.
Good. I can't give Strike Witches a chance.
Mm, I don't think it's going to be as fan servicey though, which is a good thing.
Alright. Anyway, your turn. Shinmai Mao no Testament.
The rather risque battle action story
Like we haven't seen that before with Thinking Tosin, Queen's Blade, Mayoshiki.
centers around Basara Tojo, a first year high school student who is flustered by a sudden question asked by his eccentric father. Hey, didn't you used to say you wanted a little sister? Plus, his father announces that he is getting remarried. His father brings over two beautiful stepsisters. But then embarks on an overseas trip. However, the two sisters, Mio and Maria Naruse, are actually a novice devil and succubus.
Well, where we've heard this before, I believe there was a show called Kisses that had a very similar premise. The succubus thing reminds me of another anime I remember talking about 3 years ago on the spring catalog that I do not want to mention again. Yeah, there's rather risque battle action. Yeah, I've seen that genre before, and they've done really they not too much risque, not enough battle. That's the problem with most of these shows.
It also looks like that it's copy pasted from a bunch of different summaries that I've seen.
Yeah, either way, I'm not interested. Okay, next show, Ketsui Gikata Kuntu, sequel to that. The anime adapted from the Japanese remake version of the Korean webtoon is Simple Thinking About Blood Type, which discusses about blood type related stereotypes in Japan and Korea using the faceless characters each representing different blood types.
How do you have a stereotype for blood types? Is that like people who are AB are super angry all the time?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm
And
starting to think this is like the Japanese version of the Mr. Man show.
Whatever. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on. Because
Tanki's to Jigen. The anime story takes place at the School of the Sprites of Sound, St. Mu's Academy. I see what they did there. The students at the academy train to one day control the tune and sounds of the world so that humans can live comfortably with sound. 5 students at the school who are failing are given a special mission. Oh, with its art style, it basically looks like it's a short made in Flash and also for kids, so I'm not going to see it.
I got nothing else to say. Alright, next show Tokyo Ghoul Checkmark A? I don't know. Yeah, it's a season 2 to Tokyo Ghoul. Kat Kadeke is a bookworm college student who meets a girl named Rize at a cafe he frequents. They're the same age and have the same interests, so they quickly become close. Little does Kaneki know that Rize is a ghoul, a kind of monster that lives by hunting and devouring human flesh. When the part of her special organ, the red child, is transplanted to Kaneki, he becomes a ghoul himself. Trapped in a warped world where humans are not the type of humans are not at the top of the food chain. I did say I was taking interest in the first Tokyo Ghoul. I never got around to doing it, though. If I am in a really, really gorehoundy-ish mood, like I was with another, I may give it a chance. But for now, I can't even check out the second season.
I watched most of Tokyo Ghoul, but I didn't finish the first season. Not because the show was bad or anything. I just sort of like put it on hold and never had a chance to pick it back up. I hear it's a little fast paced than most people would like, but that's about it.
Your turn.
Seinai Heroine no Sodekata. Story revolves around Tomoga Aki, an otaku who is working part time to earn enough money to buy anime on Blu ray.
I can relate.
He meets a beautiful girl on his way home during spring vacation and eventually models the heroine of his own doujin game after her. However, he finds out a month later that the girl is in fact his classmate, and he doesn't know her name. He learns that the girl, named Megumi, actually is hardly noticed by others.
Senpais will never notice her.
Tomoya also has no artistic ability or writing skills, so he asks Ace of the Art Club, Iriri Spencer Samura, to provide art, as well as the honor student Utaha Kasumigaika to write the scenario. Can they produce a decent game for comic market?
It does sound like an interesting premise, something I could get behind. I just don't know if this will be good. I mean, it could still be poorly I don't know. This is A1 Pictures, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
This this show kind of reminds me of another show that used a slightly similar plot to that. I believe it was called Welcome to the NHK.
Yeah, except it wasn't even the primary focus, like most people would make you believe. That's not the case at all. This sounds like yeah, it's pretty much that, except minus the psychological trauma of all the characters. Uh, looks like the only show I have the highest amounts of of expectations too, and I'm still not that excited. According to his date, it even broadcasts today or tomorrow or yesterday. I forgot what Japan's time zone is, but whatever. I'll watch the first episode as soon as I can. Next
Oh
show.
boy, here we go.
Oh God. Kofuku Graffiti by Studio Shaft. The story follows Ryo, a middle school girl who lives by herself. She has an knack for cooking and she makes friendships with everyone through her food. The cookie manga is full of detailed cuisine art to whet the appetite and slightly erotic meal scenes. The Kofuku in the title is a wordplay on two Japanese homonyms. One which means happiness, and the other that means appetite. Uh, you said you were looking forward to this show.
I mean, it's Shaft and food. You know what Shaft is capable of. It's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it will be kind of hilarious. Oh, what are you watching? The Food Network. Why's your pants off? Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan.
It's a definite watch for me.
I might check it out if you say good things about it. All right, your turn.
Okay, next is Juo Mujin no Fafnir. In the unlimited school battle action story, the world was transformed by the sudden appearance of monsters known collectively as dragons. Before long, girls known as D were born with the dragon's powers. A boy named Yu Mononobe is the world's only male D. Although his existence is kept secret, he is forced to enroll into Midgar, a school for D girls, where he sees a female student Iris naked. Moreover, he is reunited with his long separated little sister Mitsuki. Okay, so forget what I said about Absolute Duo. This is the Infinite Stratos clone.
This is the IS clone. Gotcha. It does sound like an IS clone. I got through the first two episodes of IS, so. All right, next show. Sokyo no Fafnir, Dead Aggressor Exodus. Sequel to Fafnir. Okay, Fafnir, fuck. Tatsum. Wow, even this word's getting me. Tatsuma Miyajima is the central island in the middle of a small cluster of islands in a sleepy backwater of the Japanese Isles. Not much happens there, and the island's young people go to school knowing that their lives are likely to remain peaceful and undisturbed. Or so they've been taught. But the truth is different. The fate of mankind is on the line, and Tatsumi is the last line of defense against a hostile and incomprehensible enemy. At the center of it all, fighting for humanity's continued existence, is the giant robot Fafnir, the dragon that guards his final treasure of mankind. I don't have an interest. I've heard about Fafnir in the past. Don't have an interest in it. Don't like that particular artist's artwork. It's the same person who worked on Gundam Seed, as you can tell. And Multifire actually had plans to review or talk about the show. At first, he absolutely hated it. He hated the first few episodes, but then he grew to love it. I don't know if he's finished watching it or not. He was collecting it by the DVD pieces. I don't know if he got all of the DVDs or not. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say. I really don't care.
Okay, next is something that I enjoy a lot. The Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. Anime adaptation of the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls mobile game related to the Idolmaster TV series. Now, I really liked Idolmaster in all of its incarnations.
The only Idolmaster thing I've seen is the Puchimas shorts.
I'm just hoping I enjoy these characters because one of the reasons why I liked Idolmaster so much was the old characters' personalities. So I'm hoping this show also has characters that are just as likable.
I know Idolmaster, the original, was based off of a game that was for some reason exclusive to the Xbox 360 in Japan because the 360 does so well over fucking there. So, wow, I'm being really, really, really mean spirited today. I don't know. Next show, JoJo's Adventures, Stardust Crusaders, the Egypt arc. The story follows Jotaro Kujo, the grandson of Joseph Joestar. Jotaro is a troublesome student who regularly gets into fights at school. He's put in prison after beating up 3 armed men and a trained boxer, but he refuses to leave, claiming he's possessed by an evil spirit. Joseph Joestar soon arrives with his friend Muhammad Avdol. Joseph explains that Jotaro's evil spirit is actually a stand, a manifestation of psychic power. I know good chunks about the Stardust Crusaders story, but I haven't actually been. I've only seen 3 episodes of the Stardust Crusaders arc, so I can't really continue. Though I have very little doubt that this show will suck. When Dio shows up, things get crazy. I know that much. Things will go crazy. But if they do adapt the manga to a T, one other thing to look forward to is the battle against Daniel Darby, the gambler, with the with I think his stand was Osiris. Yeah, he gambles for people's souls, and it's one of the best scenes I've ever. It's one of the best anime fight scenes I've seen, and it has no fighting at all. It's all battle wits and gambling and luck and all that shit. Good.
Um, Next is Asasu Koyoshitsu, or Assassination Classroom. A humorous and action-packed story about a class of misfits who are trying to kill their new teacher.
Okay.
An alien octopus with bizarre powers and super strength. The teacher has just destroyed the moon
uh,
and is threatening to destroy the Earth unless his students can destroy him first.
you destroyed the moon. You kind of already fucked it over.
What makes things more complicated is that he's the best teacher they've ever had.
He does sound pretty fun.
Okay, so this is one of my most anticipated shows of the season. The first one, well, the OVA, or the first episode, I guess, is already out. I just haven't got a chance to watch it yet. So, definitely, definitely worth checking out.
Okay, that might also put me on the maybe list for that show. All right. Next show, Death Parade, retelling of the Death Billiards movie. After death, humans go to either heaven or hell, but for some, at the instant of their death, they arrive at the Queen Decim, a bar attended by the mysterious white-haired Decim. He challenges them to the death game, wherein they wager their lives to reveal their true natures. Decim himself is the ultimate arbitrator of who wins and who loses, who lives and who dies.
I mean, seems like it's an interesting show.
Eh,
Premise seems nice. Maybe they have to play pool.
eh.
Come on, Death Billiards. It's a show about pool, obviously. Anyways, next show is Shonen Hollywood, Holly Stage for 50. Sequel to Shonen Hollywood, Holly Stage for 49 TV series. What is this, like the Ocean's 11, 12 anime? The anime tells an original story set 15 years after the novel story. It takes place at a fictional theater called Hollywood Tokyo in Harajuku, where members of the idol group Shonen Hollywood develop their talents with diligent work and studying. Yeah, it's a show about guys. I'm gonna put a pass on it.
Me neither. Yeah. Next show, Durarara times two show, whatever. Sequel to Durarara, which I believe broadcasted on Toonami. And if okay. At the invitation of his childhood friend Masaomi, a boy named Ryugami Mikado transfers to a school in Ikebukuro. Masaomi has warned him about the people he doesn't want to cross in the city, a champion fighter informant in a mysterious gang called Dollars. Nervous for Masaomi's stories, Mikado witnesses an urban legend of his first day in the city, the headless rider striding on a black motorcycle. From then on, the existence of supernatural cases in a gang called the Yellow Scarves, which I heard they're the reference to the Yellow Turbans from the Three Kingdoms stories, will rise up to the surface, and Ikebukuro will push to the breaking point. I didn't see Durarara. I really don't care.
I've waited a long time for this sequel. Like, a really long time. I wasn't even expecting this to happen at all, because it's been years since the original. Um, I can only hope that it steeps up, because I really like the characters. What else do you expect from I think with Japanese it would be
Yeah, but it's still pronounced Durarara by everyone. Even Adult Swim got that right.
The ruse.
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Next is Alma No Zero 2, sequel to Alma No Zero TV series. In 1972, the Apollo 17 mission discovered a hypergate to Mars on the surface of the moon. Soon a war breaks out between Earth and Mars, and Martian soldiers begin to descend from the sky, riding steel giants intent on eliminating
I give
humanity.
this show an I'd know a 0 out of 10.
I can't stop now. It's Euro Butcher work. And the way it ended, that cliffhanger, still kind of salty about it. Should have seen it coming though. It is Jin's work.
Show Dog Days closing per, parentheses. What the fuck? Third season, 3 months after second season during fall vacation. I guess that date's fucking important. Shiku and his team will show up every episode, but the regular members of the show will change every episode. The director admitted that although there were already approximately 20 major characters, 2 or more will be added. The series will go in depth about the details behind the world of Flying Yard, as well as living deeper into what a hero is. I saw the first episode of Dog Days and completely forgot about it.
I was planning on watching this show out of curiosity, but I didn't have to watch the first 2 seasons. Yeah, it's on the list. The Rolling Girls. It's been 10 years since the Tokyo Great Decisive Battle, a Japan where all the prefectures have become independent countries. A not so ordinary story
No!
about ordinary girls. According to ordinary girls, ordinary will save the earth ordinarily.
Yeah, lost me at ordinary. You literally lost me at ordinary. Fuck you.
Which ordinary? There were like 4 plus a hidden 5th implied one somewhere.
Ah, Jesus. Anyways, I'm moving on. Kuroko no Basketball. Tetsuya Kuroko is a former member of the legendary middle school basketball team known as the Generation of Miracles. Upon meeting Taiga Kagami, he decides upon becoming a shadow to help him become Japan's greatest basketball player. Third season show. Oh, yeah, No, I didn't watch it.
I watched the first episode. It seems alright. I mean, it's basketball, but overly explained. I liked Haikyuu because it was simple. What I don't understand is how a lot of sports shows think they have to use some weird, vibey imagery showcasing basketball when they could just show off the sport. It's one of the reasons why I liked Haikyuu.
your, your turn. Apparently, they're making something related to an old 1980s classic, Yatterman.
Yoru no Yatterman. Yatterman Kingdom is a heavenly land controlled by the Yatterman, the allies of justice. In order to save her sick mother, a girl attempts to land in Yatterman Kingdom to ask for help. However, she is turned away and her mother passes away.
Dicks.
The Ronbo, one of the bands of great thieves, there was a beautiful girl named Doronjo working under a boss named Dokurobe. Her lackeys were 2 men named Boyaki and
Boyaki and
Tozura.
Tanzura.
The Domburo fight with Yatterman, and within the fray, the team is banished to a remote island. This is the story of a new generation of Donbos, Donjuro, Boyaki, and Torozura, as well as the story of the birth of Gon-chan and I-chan as Yatterman. I thought Yattermen were supposed to be good guys.
Yatterman is supposed to be the good guys. Yatterman's 1 and 2. However, like Dorambo, From what I've researched, Duranbo is actually such a popular antagonist group that they've gotten like rip-offs made to them to this day, such as Team Rocket and a bunch of other characters. Um, I've seen little bits and pieces of the 2008 Yatterman series, which again pushed more focus on Duranjo because they were more entertaining and fun.
With Obama Kun and Hillary Chan.
Yes, that's the famous Obama Coup Hillary Chan episode was on that particular series. Um, so I'm not surprised that they're getting this new version of them is getting a getting focus. Now I still want to watch the original animated series. Maybe one day it will get localized by what, Discotech Media. Yeah, that's the company that localized some retro shows, including the original 1973 Cutie Honey. What was it, 1978? I can't remember. Um, will I watch this one? Maybe. I haven't even seen Gatchaman Crowds yet.
You should.
All
Everyone
right.
should watch Gotcha Man Crowds.
All right. Next show. Junketsu no Maria has no relation to Junketsu from Kill la Kill. The story follows Maria, the most powerful witch who lives during the Hundred Years' War in France. She despises war, so she obstructs battles with her strong magical powers. Her meddling with her succubus Artemis and incubus Priapus has caught the attention of the heavens, and so Archangel Michael issues an edict. When Maria loses her virginity, she will also lose her magical powers. A beautiful angel named Ezekiel is supposed to watch Maria and make sure the witch does not use magic in front of people. But Maria continues to use magic anyways, cause fuck the rules.
I like the art style of the show. Um, it seems really nice. I think the plot's pretty funny too. It's a witch who doesn't like war. I don't like that both of you are fighting, so I'm just gonna fireball both of you.
I don't know. I got nothing else to say. Moving on.
Shinkei Tetsukai no World Break. The Canvas Sword and Sorcery story is set in a private high school that brings together saviors, youth with awakened memories from past lives. Some of them are Shirogane, who fight enemies with weapons and techniques gleaned from the Puraha powers from their own bodies. Others are Kuroma, who wipe out enemies with magic to manipulate their mana powers that surpass physics. A boy named Moroha Hiruma enrolls in the school. He is the first person in history with past lives of both Shirogane and Kuroma. I have nothing to really say on this show. It seems it seems a little bit like Nobunagun, and I like Nobunagun.
Maybe, maybe with harem elements. I don't know. Like the picture they use.
If I mean, he has a bunch of girls in the background, so this is obviously has harem aspects.
Yeah, because Kirito is such a popular character, sort of online, that they decide let's rip off of him. That's not going to piss everyone else off. Feeling really cynical today. I'm not. Don't be surprised. Like I said, nothing in this season wows me, and I'd rather be playing some games right now or doing something else before work. Anyways, Sengoku Muso, also known as Samurai Warriors. Story takes place in Japan's tumultuous Sengoku era, where violent battles are being waged across the country. The passionate and painful story follows the troubled fate of the Sanada brothers, who have sworn an oath that no matter what, they will fight to the bitter end together. Now, I play a lot of Dynasty Warriors, but I never once played the Samurai Warriors franchise, or the Orochi franchise for that matter. I hope this anime is good. Maybe I will give Samurai Warriors a chance. I am going to give Warriors Orochi Ultimate 3 a chance, though. I'm going to get that from my PlayStation, so. If this was Dynasty Warriors, I'd be a little more excited, but it's not.
It depends on how much they focus on the action.
Yeah, I know.
Most of these
Uh,
shows that come from these types of games just have a lot of talking.
yeah. Especially most action anime. You think whenever they just sit around and talk, but really you play the video games because of the action, and you want to see that translate just as well with an anime adaptation. But they don't. But they just don't do that sometimes.
But don't you know the biggest battle of all is the battle using words?
Your turn.
Right. Sukhiya. The story revolves around Shinshiro, a male student who gets a job as a housekeeper in order to pay his rent. While on the job, he accidentally releases a strange creature into the world, and he learns that his female employer, named Sakuya Shimizu, is the head of the Shimizu clan that hunts these creatures. Shinichiro cooperates with her to hunt down the monsters that are running loose. I've seen this type of story quite a bit too.
Same here. Plus, it's Studio Arms, so don't let the innocent imagery fool you. It could be just as it could be very perverted fan servicey. I mean, and yeah, I've been fooled like that before. I didn't think Rail Wars was going to be fan servicey at all. Then everyone keeps telling me it's just late. It's just fucking slathered with it. Go Princess Precure, 12th Precure show. I'd never even seen the first one or anything else, but
You don't have to.
I know it's like common. I know. It's like Common Rider. It's a generational thing, but still, I have no interest.
Look, I'll probably end up seeing this Precure. I didn't get a chance to finish Hardcatch, not because I didn't want to finish it, because I did, but it just got away from me due to issues. I don't know about this one though, because the style just seems a little too flamboyant. Not sure. I'll still probably give it a chance.
All right, your turn.
Anime de Wakura Shinyunikai. I probably said that wrong. The story centers around the psychologist Rio and his nurse Asuna. The pair explain aspects of mental illness through a series of loosely connected cases. With a light-hearted tone, the doctor helps readers understand conditions such as depression, adjustment disorder, and Asperger's syndrome.
You lost me at lighthearted tone. I think it should be. I think it should be darker, more serious, and to the point. Especially if we're dealing with things like depression.
I don't know. I mean, look at those characters.
Yeah, I know. You got one who's dressed with an S&M mask and whip, and you got one with a fucking mallet. And the doctor in the center, which I'm assuming that might be Rio, is smiling while crying.
It's probably going to be a short anyway, so I'm going to check it out.
uh, I might see it too out of morbid curiosity. It could surprise me, but like I said, might be uh, it could be poorly executed. It'll be like the most vulgar, offensive thing ever.
Hey guys, just a little insert here. Uh, if any of you haven't finished Persona 4 in any form of fashion, you might want to stop watching the video here because the rest of this video gets into a lot of spoiler territory. So just just a word of warning. Also, you might not want to look at the OVA section of this chart because you'll get spoiled anyway there too. So, continue on.
Yeah, I'm not. We're not going through the movies and OVAs for time's sake.
Oh, yes, we are.
Why?
Because you missed something rather important. It's on the second
What?
row. You should notice it when you see it.
Looking, looking. Where is it?
Second row, third from the left.
Oh, thanks for the spoilers. Persona 4 The Golden Animation. Thank you, Miss. Oh! This episode. Oh! Guys, spoilers for Persona 4 if you haven't played it and have an interest playing it. Turn off this video now if you're into this. Everyone who's played Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, stay tuned because I got something to say about this one. This episode is an alternate ending focusing on Adachi. The website lists the following summary. After Yu finds out the past and circumstances of Adachi, he makes a single decision in order to save him. So they did go with the accomplice ending from Persona 4 Golden. Or at least with a bonus OVA. Oh my god. Oh god. If Sentai ever gets their hands on the Golden and that OVA is bundled with it, I will pre-order the shit out of it on Blu-ray. Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna go off and talk about the video about Persona 4 Golden. Yes, I played it. Yes, I loved it. Game of the year 2012 for me. Um, in case you haven't figured it out, Adachi is the culprit, and he's actually one of my favorite video game antagonists of all time too. Now, in Persona 4 Golden, you can actually have a social link with him. In the previous game, you couldn't, which was actually kind of a vital clue. But in this one, you can, and he's part of the Jester Arcana. And and if you decide to go the canonical route, it will mutate to the Hunger Arcana, or it was supposed to be called Lust, but I heard the localization team changed it because they didn't want him to make him think that he was gay for you. Um, but if you but when you get to a certain point in a social link, you can you can have the option of covering for him. And at the day when you were supposed to leave Inaba, Adachi, you confront Adachi about the situation. Then you talk to him, and with correct dialogue choices, Adachi's like, "Well, here's this letter, this threatening letter to you. Now, if the police get their hands on this, it would be some hardcore evidence." And then he also puts a lighter right next to the table, and you have the option to burn the letter. And Adachi just laughs with joy. Then you get to max out his social link and you get to unlock his persona. Yes, he even has a persona too. It's a really cool one, Magatsu Izanagi, which is basically an evil, more corruptive version of the main character's main persona, Izanagi. And he keeps tabs with you on the cell phone. And he says, "Oh, by the way, if you get a phone call from me, you make sure you pick it up every time, bitch." And you leave, and then it shows a special post-credit anime scene with the main character kind of regretting his decision. Oh, this is gonna be awesome! It's gonna be so dark. It's gonna be enjoyable. I definitely want to see this. I want to see this in anime form. Oh, usually I would wait for the English dub because I actually enjoy the English dub. I don't care if Johnny Young Bosch is voicing both the protagonist and antagonist. He enjoys that role. I'm sorry. He enjoys playing Adachi. I know he does. uh, he's also my favorite character to use in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you interrupted me for that. That actually made my day with this video. Alright, so I'm not gonna look through everything else, otherwise we'd be here. And besides, I think we made it under an hour. So that's a first in a while. Usually these things go to 2 hours.
The only other thing I care about is the Psychopaths movie coming out because you know I'm a big fan of
Yeah,
Psychopaths.
Happy Meal. Anyways. apparently apparently there's a Shirobaku Exodus. I need to continue watching Shiro. And I need to finish Denki Guy. So, like I said, that's all I have. What are you looking forward to this list? Comment below. Um, I have a Twitter. You can follow me for updates there. And I also have a Twitch TV account where I do LPs. And I'm currently in the middle of a Let's Play on Akiba's Trip for the PlayStation 4. It's a bizarre, fun little game that XC localized a couple months back. I will talk about the game as well as try to keep it entertaining. Ask questions during the live stream at yada yada. You can follow me there too, and I might do an LP tomorrow or Saturday. Hopefully you'll keep tabs. And I think that's all I got. Like I said, everything about that list, that last part definitely surprised the hell out of me. I didn't even see that before, so. And if I spoiled Persona 4 for you, I am deeply, deeply sorry. I didn't. I did warn you a few times, but yeah. I'm just gonna tell a certain person who's in the middle of playing this game who hates spoilers not to watch my video. Yeah, or a cutoff point. All right. Well, that's all I gotta say. Like I said, leave a comment if you wish. Dark 217 signing out.
Windsor. See you later.
All right, take care.